You're actually going first. Or do you want to actually see it?
I don't know, it's all like that. Yeah, I can still say. Yep, 100%. Good afternoon, MJ Life. It's great to be here. Don't they do an amazing job? We should give them all a round of applause for the good job they do. I'll share a little about myself. When I was born 2 pounds and 12 ounces. My parents thought it was the cutest thing they ever did see. But a social worker came up to me, my mom, says in this speaking voice, "I'm sorry, no, he's not what you expect. Just look at that cute little face." I didn't have a diagnosis back then. So God handpicked my birthday. I was supposed to be born middle of August sometime. And I was born July 7th, 1997. In the Bible, the number 7 is God's number of perfection or completion. In the world's eyes, I might be disabled, but in God's eyes, I'm perfect.
Brandon.
I wasn't meeting the normal milestones, so I was sitting for genetic testing. They discovered I have 70% of my cells have an extra chromosome. The doctor says, "We don't know if you're going to live or die," to my parents. Newsflash, God determines my days, not the doctors. Doctors don't even know how long they're going to live for half the time. Well, when most kids were walking, I did my famous log roll. I could get from one side of the room to the other side of the room in no time flat. I was so fast I rolled down the stairs twice. My mom rushed me to the hospital and says, "Brandon's falling down the stairs again." I'm sure the thing, sure, he fell down the stairs again, or you just push him down the stairs the second time. So people ask me, "What happened to you? Did you fall on your head?" Well, yeah, it actually happened to me twice. And more stuff. I have ADD, sensory issues. I don't want to bore you too much about all my sensory issues, but most of them have gone away, so that's the good news. And sent in for more testing. They discovered I have 58 IQ. So if I mess up today, I really do have a good excuse.
I
You always have energy, I understand. I used to do the same thing. Trust me, my mom remembers that. So, because of that, I was in different programs such as Reach, and we were doing a song about dinosaurs, and at the end, the mic beckoned me and saying, "Brandon, come sing, come sing." Well, of course, I resisted once or twice. Who am I kidding? I never resisted. So I started singing this song, my own silly song. People were laughing, think this funny, clapping. Of course I'm going to do it. I'm going to do more anti and do more crazy and make it more dramatic. Well, not everyone is happy. My teacher was beet red, looked like her veins were going to pop. Eventually they pulled the plug, which was sad, but because of that, I got into drama. I did 16 years of drama, always playing the villain because the villains get the most laugh. But laughs don't help. Because I was different, I was bullied. I had people say such things as, "Oh, are we on the net? Oh, it's frozen there." Yeah, that's better than I can see what I'm talking about. Oh, no, that's working. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I know, I can see perfectly.
I have to turn that.
So we used to say, "Hey, retard, are you jerked?" I just put a brave smile on my face, but in fact, I felt my heart was about to burst. I was beat up, kicked on, spit on, and people were thinking this is funny. How is this funny? The lies I started believing, such as, "I'm not good enough, I can't do anything, my life doesn't matter, this point will never end." Thankfully, that part of my life is over, and I don't have to worry about such things. But if you're going through it, get to know someone different than you. Be a friend. You find out you have a lot in common. So how does trisomy 18 affect when people talk too fast or give me too much information? And you see me smiling, nodding my head. Well, there's two possibilities. Number one, I like what you're saying. Number two, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. So how people's brains are puzzle pieces. describe my brain? Well, I have puzzle pieces, but I also have chess pieces, checker pieces, battleship pieces, and it's a game like giant whack-a-mole. Trying to fit them all together. Boy, does that hurt! We could choose to look at the negative or be thankful for what we do have. There might be things in all our lives we may not like. I choose to be thankful. And God has chosen the two things I despise the most to trisome 18 and bullying. I've been able to speak at different places, such as schools about bullying and trisome 18, different places. How I started was watching the world of a trisomy child, where doctors refuse to give medical treatment or put DNR or do not resuscitate without the parents' knowledge or permission. Now, wouldn't you be outraged if you couldn't get medical treatment because your sexual orientation, gender, race, or religion? Wouldn't you be outraged? And this is doctors by doctors, some of the doctors' comments. Is my life less valuable than yours? Well, that answers it right away, so I don't have to actually. These are the attitudes towards trisomy 18. This is by Dr. John Newt on the neonatal research. Some infants with trisomy 18 mosaicism have manifested some very limited degree of personality development. The oldest surviving persons with the condition have reached the second decade of life, while tube-head, unresponsive, bedridden, and recurrently treated for infections. I won't even comment on this because apparently I'm unresponsive. And so there's a doctor's comments, and this is Vanessa. She has trisomy 18. She had her heart repair at 2 months, diagnosed at 8 months. Had we known her diagnosis, we would not have operated on her. This is Ashley, and this is her doctor said. Start planning her funeral so that when she dies, you won't have to worry about planning and you can focus on other things. She's alive and doing pretty well, so. Or this one always makes me blood boil. I make myself perfectly clear. I will not spend a single healthcare dollar on your child. Your child is no longer patient, only you are. The Down syndrome life expectancy in 1949 was 8 to 12 years. Now it's 55 years. Why is that? It's because of medical intervention. That's what we're asking for trisomy 18. Now this is the obstetrician attitudes. Trisomy 18 is a lethal abnormality. 84.5 strongly agree with this. And this is from parents, so a big difference from what parents think and what doctors think all the time. So this is a survey from 332 families. My child is a happy child, 91% agree. My child enriches our family life, 84% agree. Now I'll just read the last one because there's lots here. If I was pregnant again with a trisomy 13 or 18 baby, I would continue the pregnancy. 91% yes, and 7% they would take no test. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is what's used for in medical textbooks for trisomy 13 and 18. Would this affect how a parent might view their child? I was able to speak at Tacoma, Washington for the SOF conference, and the picture we just saw did not look like the picture we see here. The kids are interacting and laughing with their families. Why aren't we showing this side? Or we'll say that the younger picture of the younger children, but a lot of the older children, they don't show this because older children do survive. Unfortunately, some of these kids have passed on. What does that mean for trisomy 13, 18? Does that mean in a generation or two we might be all extinct? If a woman takes a prenatal screening and a doctor finds out that the child has trisomy 18, they will highly advise them into abortion, almost bully them into abortion. Or once the child is born, they discover that it's trisomy 18, they will give no medical intervention. So it seems like a lose-lose situation. Yeah, you're sharing this with me. Oh, yeah. My mom, this is when I was really young. I don't actually know the exact age because when you're young you don't remember all the stuff. But my mom asked her geneticist how she would advise her, and she said abortion because statistics show. Well, I'm right there. I can really feel the love of the medical community even back then. Statistics are great. They might tell you what may happen, but not will happen. I'm not a statistic. Ironic, I was on a panel with my geneticist years later, and this is the sort of, oh, I got caught apology. Oh, sorry, I don't have the latest research. Well, unfortunately, that is your job. You're supposed to look at the latest research. Or a long-time nurse held the trisomy 18 babies in her arms and did nothing. Like, that's how sad it is. And, well, it's, sorry, the Stolly Children's Hospital, unfortunately, I was able to advocate for a young girl to have a heart operation. The cardiologist absolutely refused, says no child survives heart operations. Luckily, the child got a heart operation by a different cardiologist and survived. But what he said was wrong. There's two possibilities. Number one, he honestly didn't know kids do survive from trisomy 18. Or number two, he was lying to the parents. And you can see she's alive and well in that picture. And I was able to speak at the National Right to Life in, I think that was the US? Yeah, I forgot. Canadian Physicians for Life. Wow. Too many pictures, you have to remember them all. So they were just learning about trisomy 18, so through that, I was able to speak at different places for universities. These are some of the comments I'll read. Such an excellent session. Thank you so much for sharing. This is what I did at the university for them because they're worried about trisomy 18. We can change the dialogue and push the way. Thank you so much for the session, Brandon. It was incredible, eye-opening. It was such a delight to hear you speak with us today. I should be taught in medical textbooks around the world. I agree. Oh, thanks so much for sharing your story. I learned so much from you. I've been inspired by your story. Hope my classmates can make you proud by advocating for our patients the way they deserve. Now, who would not want that as a doctor? So we did a scale before and after, and it was out of 5. So 2.1 thought it's a lethal anomaly. And, well, my view towards trisomy 18 has changed. 4.6. Trisomy 18 patients should be treated for the symptoms, not the label, and 4.7. So that's a pretty good step in the right direction. So what's next? I will continue to use my voice for those who have no voice. And let's get rid of these 3. I have 3 points, the simplest points ever. Now, if we call something lethal, we'll continue to get lethal results. So let's get rid of the phrases such as incompatible with life. And number 2, treat the symptoms, not the labels. If a kidney is a heart operation, give it a heart operation. And let's give balanced information. Yes, there might be life-limiting conditions, but there are also hope and possibility. That's why I say we need to work hand in hand on changing the dialogue. Hand in hand, changing the dialogue. Because genetic discrimination is deadly. We all deserve the right to life.
Great job, son. I have to follow him. Well, since you heard from my son, now it's time to hear the rest of the story through Mama's eyes. And what I'd like to do is just take you back in time to an appointment that I think most trisomy 18 and 13 parents face. And it goes a little like this. The test results came back, and I'm sorry to inform you that your child has trisomy 18. Trisomy 18 is incompatible with life. We don't know how long your son will live. I tried to process what she was saying, but honestly, I had all these emotions that were just swirling around in my brain, like shock, disbelief, anger. And it felt like my what should have been was just being ripped away, and my heart was just torn into a million pieces. And I just couldn't understand what is happening, because we had prayed so long for this child. And after miscarrying and finally conceiving Brandon, I just couldn't believe that we might be losing him. And I have to say, I was upset with God. And then I heard these two words: praise me. I was shocked. Like, seriously? Praise you? From just like what I heard, that we might be losing Brandon, and you want me to praise you? And then I heard it again. Praise me. You know what? God wasn't surprised by that diagnosis. He knew Brandon from the moment that he was conceived in my womb, and he knew everything about him. And he wanted me to trust him. He had this, and he was a God still worthy of praise, and I began praising him. Easy to do in the good times, isn't it? But in the bad times is when we need to have our eyes look off of the problem and onto the one that can help us. So when I had Brandon, there was a big difference because we didn't have social media. So people like Jake and Suzuki might find that very hard to believe in the audience, but we didn't. Although I have to say that someone in this very room just recently asked me, did we have ultrasounds in my day? FYI, yes, we had ultrasounds in my day, we did indeed. But the reason that I'm bringing up social media is today, when you have all of these wonderful support groups online, and we didn't have that. The only information that I had was from the doctors, which was dismal, to what I found on the internet, which was even more dismal. And I remember telling a doctor, but Brandon's doing well. And his reply is, Mom, you're just delusional. Well, wouldn't it be great if you saw my delusion today, right? So there were some tough times, for sure. But honestly, the good times and the crazy moments and everything else far outweighed the first. And Brandon actually brought to mind one of those experiences. I don't know, he was about yay tall, and he came into the room and his hair is nicely slicked back, and he's just grinning. Now I knew that he didn't have a water source that he had access to. So I said, Brandon, how did you make your hair look so nice? He was all excited, grabbed my little hand, trots me away, points, there! Oh. Into the toilet. Yeah, great job, son! So Brandon, I'm really hoping that today's grooming experience didn't involve the toilet bowl. So when we were growing up, some of the things that we went to, Brandon mentioned about being relentlessly bullied, and it was awful. Because as a parent, you really wish that everyone would be able to see the value and worth of your child the way you do. But unfortunately, some people can be so cruel, can't they? And an example that comes to mind is when Brandon went to his first week-long camp. And I prayed so hard that he would have a positive experience. But that was farthest from the truth. And when they were relaying those experiences to me of what took place, I could just feel this mama bear rising up inside me. Anybody else know what I mean? Yeah. So I said, Brandon, who's this boy that bullied you? Like, I really just wanted to talk to him, and maybe it's still a little bit of guilt. But Brandon just looks at me and he says, oh, Mom, it's okay. I already forgave him. And it's like you said, we don't know that if someone gets bullied, maybe they've been bullied themselves. I have so much to learn from this young man. And when we did the trisomy 18, we put a lot of prayer into that, and we didn't take it lightly sharing all his information on the web. But what happened is that we had all these beautiful letters that came in, and I totally forgot to bring it with me, and it's in my other bag outside there, so you don't get it. But I'll just give you the gist of it. It was by a parent who, they were Orthodox Jews, and how he had mentioned that until he came across Brandon's website, it was all doom and gloom from what they heard from the doctors. And he was just so thrilled because for the first time he was given hope, and they were going to, against the doctor's wishes, now, save this baby and carry on. And thank Brandon that God had used him in that way, and hope to one day meet his hand and thank him in person. And you know what? If it was only for that one person, mission accomplished is all I can say. So yeah, we've had interesting experiences and lots of fun along the way. So the other thing that we talked about is, I'm just going to do a little detour because I just want to talk about 2 points. And I just want to say this respectfully and say that I've been guilty of both. And the first one is when we glamorize a genetic condition by saying trisomy 18 rocks, or Down syndrome is cool. You know what? They're not cool. They're not cool. They've come with challenges that no one would willingly choose for themselves. But on the other hand, the person with that disability, now that's cool beyond measure. And the second thing is when we get into this whole idea of its ability versus disability. And we've just seen that when we went through in March and everything else. And I think we need to be very, very careful with that, because it's neither ability or disability. That should never be the measuring line. It should be about the right to life for each individual, because those children are made in the image of God. So not about ability, not about ability. It's because of whose they are. Brandon mentioned about the wonderful medical presentations, and wouldn't it be great if we actually had all medical students get another perspective where they valued life? Our medical system would be so different, wouldn't it? So at one time, one of the students asked me, well, is it hard being a parent of a special needs child? And I replied, yes. But let me ask you the same question. Is it hard being a medical student? And then when things get difficult, do you just throw in the towel? Or do you do whatever it takes to accomplish the task? And the same is true with being a special needs parent. When things get difficult, look like they may be a little more difficult, do you just end the life of the child? Or do you provide supports to both the child and the mother? Food for thought indeed. So now I would like to end with this, and my son, I'd like you to come up here for this.
Okay.
Brandon, in front of everybody here, I just want to tell you that you are just a special gift from God to you, to me, to Daddy, to your relatives, to your friends here, and I'm so thankful that God gave us you. And you know what? Prenatal testing could never have told me the way that I would feel the first time that I laid eyes on you, son, how I would feel when I got that diagnosis, and every single emotion in between, things like Phoenix.
We don't ever tell anyone about that story.
Kickboxing.
That one too.
Prenatal testing could never have told me the amazing man that you would become, not based on what you can or can't do, but based on whose you are, an amazing man made in the image of God. And finally, prenatal testing could never ever have told me, God's plan is for your life and mine as we look to Him for strength and wisdom on this amazing journey of life. And to each of you, I just want to say thank you so much for all that you're doing for the pro-life movement. And if you've never thought of doing anything for the pro-life movement, maybe this will just encourage you to just stand up when someone says, my body, my choice. Because choices have consequences, don't they? So God bless you on your journey. Thank you for everything you're doing, and God bless.